So I do a lot of marketing down there.
Oh, that's awesome. We should talk
Yeah.
after this webinar because I can if you list we're going to talk about how to 10x more than what your broker makes. Um, but specifically to you, because I'm helping somebody else in Colombia, by the way, um,
Okay.
and helping to take those investment dollars from South America into real estate, but rather than going into residential real estate, bring it into commercial real estate, you'll make a lot more money. And you're doing almost the exact same thing. It's just slightly different. Um, you just,
Yeah. People from people from outside the country, they don't really care much about cash flow. So what we show them is equity, because they live there, they work there, they don't wanna, they're not looking to live here like right now, maybe in the
yeah,
future, but right now what they want is having someone to pay their mortgage here, and you don't even worry about it anymore. And then in 10, 20 years they come and the equity is there.
dude, that's exactly it. So instead of bringing it into a one single house or a fourplex, bring it into a 200 unit that's being ran by
Yeah.
other people, and they're 100% passive. Like they don't have to worry about anything. Their equity grows like crazy. I'll show you, but it's when I finally made that change, it made a huge difference into like how much money I was making and so forth and so on.
Hello.
Awesome. Welcome, Gustavo. Just as we wait for folks to come in, you're a real estate agent, is that correct?
Walker. Walker.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Where are you an agent at?
Miami, Florida,
Awesome.
and we are also real estate investors with my wife.
Oh, awesome. What do you guys invest in?
Fix and flips.
Fix and flips. Awesome. Super cool. Is your wife an investor also, or is she just your business partner?
We are both realtors, and we are both doing fix and flips together.
All right. Um, Amazing. Yeah, it's a very similar situation to Thomas, who's also on the call, real estate agent in Florida. Um, you guys are really going to like what we have to say. Hopefully, or what I talk about today. I think hopefully it'll expand your mind and what you knew was possible. Things that I learned that I just did not know. I was in the fix and flip space for, I don't know, 13 years. And really had no idea about what the stuff I'm going to share with you guys today. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to get started here. And as folks join, I got a lot of requests for people to send this recording to them afterwards. So we're going to do that. And there we go. And this is recorded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this presentation with you. And and I'll send you the recording afterwards. If you want the slides, just let me know and I'm happy to share. But during this recording, feel free to throw questions in the chat. Would love to, just answer questions or just come on air and say, "Hey, Sam, how does that work? Or is that true?" Or because some of this stuff's going to sound a little bit crazy to you guys, and I wouldn't believe it except I've been doing it for 6 years. And so I want you to be able to participate and ask questions because some of this is going to be new. It's relatively new. Cool. Can I? Will you guys at least commit to asking questions if you have them? All right. Take that as an affirmative. Let's go. All right. So today we're going to talk about how to make 10x more than your broker to stop chasing transactions. So in residential real estate, really you make your money by the quantity and the size of transactions. It's the same in the commercial real estate world. If you are a broker or an agent and you're just chasing those dollars all the time. So you're chasing clients, trying to get more clients to come in so you can close one deal with them or maybe 2 or 3 deals with them. Your best clients you'll close 10 deals with because they're investors, but they're going after single family homes and you're just making 3% at the closing table. And then you're done. You get no more money afterwards. So you got to go chase another transaction. I want you guys to learn how to stop chasing transactions because I was in that space too myself. And I know. And so we'll start out with just a story. This is Ryan Peterson. He was a residential real estate broker for like 15 years. Had him and his brokerage had bought and sold over $150 million worth of real estate. But a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, almost now, he sold his brokerage and went full-time commercial real estate after 7 months of working with me. And during that time, he even took a little hiatus and had to call him up and said, Ryan, what are you doing, man? Come back. Let's go. I need you to be successful, man. No copping out. Let's get back to it. And so he got back into it. And within a few months later, he was making enough money to walk away and step away from his brokerage and work on building instead of a company where he's sharing a small portion of the fees with everybody. What he's doing now is his own company where he owns a big piece of each one of these projects. And so that's Ryan's story. So when he joined, he raised over $1 million in a couple of months. He had never raised money before, ever. He sold his brokerage. And now he, myself, and some of his partners that he met through the program are buying up urgent care facilities, medical practices with partners. He doesn't know anything about that stuff, but he knows real estate. And I am able to teach him how to do the deals, structure the deals, and get other people's money so you can be successful. And he didn't have much capital to use. So like his story is my story is your story. I don't know if you guys knew this, but 92% of realtors make $50,000 less a year. I'm sure being in Miami or Florida or elsewhere, you're probably making more than $50,000 a year. But what's wrong? Like 90% of millionaires come from real estate. How in the world is it, or why in the world is it that realtors, real estate agents are not all millionaires? 90% of millionaires come from real estate, right? And if you guys are professional real estate people, you should by default be millionaires. But there's a problem in the system, and it's not your fault. It's the way we are taught, trained, and educated that caused me for 13 years to be stuck chasing transactions and not doing deals. Now, brokers, even top earners that are sharing a portion of everyone's salary, they're making $150,000 a year. Okay, that may sound like a lot, but to me now, I'm like, that sucks. If I'm a real estate professional having access to hundreds of deals every year, why am I only making $150,000 a year? And I know a good year, you may like 2022, you probably took home 300 grand or 400 grand. In 2021, you probably took close to that. In 2020, you probably made nothing, which is terrible. How can the world shut down and then you have no money, you can't pay your bills, right? That's terrible. That should never happen again. 2023 was probably really tough. Unless you're in Florida, maybe it wasn't, but like, let's get out of that cycle. I'll teach you how to make 10x that, 1.5 million a year, no problem. You can do that, and I'll show you how. So first off, I'm Sam Sells, the founder of Syndication Launch. This is my story, lots of stories, actually. So I enlisted as a firefighter back in the early 2000s. That's me. We set a plane on fire and took some pictures and then put it out. It was fun. Was in the military, firefighter, lived in Germany, lived in a lot of places actually. So did that for a time and then got my bachelor's degree in business strategy, and then came back in as an officer and got into global health, got my master's degree in global health and health policy. And there I am in various parts of Africa, working and building 200-bed facilities, doing all sorts of stuff. So this is a little bit about my background. Lived in Destin, Florida for a while. I love Florida. For all you Floridians, I understand why you live there and stay there. But something happened. So I was in the military, and on the side, I was flipping homes. Did fix and flips on the side for 13 years. And I could never make more than like 60 grand a year from my fix and flips, just like after, taking all the money out, putting it back in, paying the 20% in taxes or 29% in taxes, depending on how fast I flipped it, and et cetera, et cetera. Just was never making that much money and doing a ton of work. All while I was also traveling around the world, working in various places, doing very thing. There's my good Afghan friend, bean cook. There we were cooking up some beans in Afghanistan. We're, just fun stuff. So what happened is the Air Force said, "Hey, Sam, you've been traveling a lot. You have sleep issues now." I'm like, yeah, I keep going over time zones once a month. I'm flying to Korea and then I'm coming back. You talk about screwing up your time schedule. I got headaches and I have sleep issues. And they said, "Okay, we're going to kick you out of the Air Force." And I thought, okay, cool. That's not cool. I wanted to retire. I'm at 17 years. I want to retire. And they said, "Nope, we're gonna kick you out." And you know, so we had just sold our house because we thought we were moving. I bought a house. They told me we were staying. We moved into this house 2 weeks after we moved in. They said, "Nope, you're moving now. We're going to keep you in the Air Force, and you got to be in Alaska, and you got to leave in 2 weeks." And so my beautiful wife there, in that picture, she was ready to stick me with a knife because, here we are. We just bought a new home, and now we got to move to Alaska. And we have a 1-year-old, and we have a 6-year-old, and we have a 13-year-old. And we all love Florida. So we packed our bags. Our boxes hadn't even gotten unpacked after we moved, and we picked up everything and we moved to Alaska. A 13-day drive to Alaska, with a 1-year-old crying in the back, my wife ready to strangle me for 13 days. And during that time, I made a decision that I would take control of my life. I would never chase transactions again. I would never have someone tell me that they could end my income in a month or kick me out or fire me or whatever. Like, I would have control of everything. And so on that drive, I decided to go back into real estate, even more, but I couldn't do single family homes. For me to get where I wanted to go, I'd have to buy 67 homes. And how in the world do you do that in a year or two? And so I naturally started looking at apartment complexes and something bigger, even though I didn't have anything. I'd saved up maybe 20 grand. And we did it. Like, I figured out that apartments are too hard. So I went to mobile home parks, and I convinced my dad and my brother, and we pulled all of our cash together, all of our retirement. Like, we liquidated our IRAs, our 401ks, everything that we had. And between the three of us, my dad, who was 65 years old, we had about $150,000 between the three of us. Okay. Crazy. If you're 65 years old and you don't even have 100 grand to your name, how are you going to retire and live? You can't. Like, you're just not going to live very well, particularly if you worked all your life. So we put all that money together and we went out and bought a mobile home park. And our lives changed. So one of the things I've learned is that when we get involved and we are working hard to build up our future, we stay small. So there's really a few things that I'm going to talk about. We end up going small because that's what we're taught, trained, and educated. You can't buy an apartment complex. You don't have $10 million to go spend on that, but you got 30 grand. So you're going to go spend it on a single family home, or you're going to become a real estate agent and learn about real estate and help investors buy single family homes. You're going to help people buy their first house, which is awesome. Love it. You're going to do those other things. But because you're going small and you're stuck going small, you always have low cash flow or low returns. There may be years where you have really good cash flow, but then the next year is inconsistent. So you're constantly chasing, which is time consuming. And if you're doing fix and flips, and Gustavo, maybe you can tell me, maybe it's not this way for you guys, but for me, it was very cash intensive in relation to commercial. So I spent $30,000 on a fix and flip. I would buy it, put money down on the house, spend 20 grand on the rehab or 50 grand on the rehab, get it back up, resell the house, take that money out and go do it again. And it would just take a lot of money. Now, when I bought our first mobile home park for 500 grand and it was 42 units, we put 100 grand into it, but I only had 30. So I took my 30 plus I used some credit cards and a line of credit to get 50. My dad had 50. We put that money into the mobile home park, and not lying, not exaggerating, less than 6 months after we purchased that mobile home park, my dad and I were each taking home $6,000 a month. Is there a single family home that you have ever purchased that got you $6,000 a month plus your partner $6,000 a month? We were making $12,000 free and clear from an old junky mobile home park that we bought. Cleaned it up, made it a nice place for people to live, got rid of the riffraff. Within 6 months, I think it was about 4 months, we were both making $6 grand a month. That changed my life, but I had to stop thinking about small. I had to get away. So old Sam Sells, 13 years plus $150,000 rolled over and over and over, 15 fix and flips. I was making about $750 a month. Okay. 13 years, I created $750 a month in cash flow. New Sam, now this is what I do. My first year, $30,000. We did 2 deals, was making over $6,000 a month. I didn't tell you about the other one, really small. 1 year, $30,000, $6,000 a month, right? And not on here, because of those 2 deals, the equity we created made me and my dad both millionaires. So now I'll do one big deal. All right. I'll use other people's money, $5 million into the deal. Of the $5 million, $50,000 will be mine. And I'll get paid $330,000. Seriously, my check on the last deal that we purchased, investors paid me, Sam Sells, $330,000 at closing. Not a commission. It wasn't a commission. It was an acquisition fee, and it's perfectly legal. Plus, that one deal added over $1.5 million to my net worth. I did one deal. I had $50,000 put into that project. I got paid $330,000 at closing, and I added $1.5 million in net worth. It's a different game. And what's crazy is that you are only spending out of your pocket the same thing that you would spend out of your pocket on a single family home. Or if you don't have any money to spend out of pocket, you just tell your investors, hey, I don't have any money out of pocket because I've already invested everything, but I believe in this project. And that's just where I'm at. And investors are really cool. But you can't get there if you do what we are trained, taught, and educated to own the entire pie, right? Go it alone. And you go, you just go slow, right? Together we go faster and farther, right? So that's why I partner now. Every single deal I have partners. What's worth more money? 100% of a company making $30,000 a year, or less than 0.1% of Apple, right? When you go together with other people owning a 0.1% of Apple is worth over $1 billion. Right now, Apple's an extreme example, but that's what the power of when we work together and we invest in a way that makes a difference. So now here's the secret, folks. I use other people's money, other people's experience, and other people's assets. Together, we combine those things and we're able to do deals in real estate that make all the difference. So before, no partners, I own 100% of the profits, 15,000 to 30,000 per year or per deal, a couple times a year. So yeah, I make 45 grand to 60 grand a year. Yay. Thought that was amazing. Now, one deal, other people's money, other people's experience, other people's assets. Now I use my own assets, my own experience, and other people's money. But those people in our program use my assets, my experience, and other people's money. And I make 165 grand to $350,000 each transaction. Again, not a broker fee, not a commission, just the payment off the deal. If you receive the commission, it would actually be on top of it. I gain $1 to $2 million per deal at closing in equity. And I could do this 5 to 10 times a year. In fact, the first 2 years, I did it 10 times each. So you can do the math on what happens, but it's all for naught if you don't have that cash flow. The number one reason why businesses fail is from a lack of cash flow, right? In 2020, so many real estate agents went out of business. So many brokerages went out of business because they had no cash flow, because they were focused on transactions. And when the transactions stopped, there was nothing left. So when we do this, and for me, it's like if we're going to buy commercial real estate, there has to be cash flow. I have to be making money off of each project. So the old deals, I would do a single family home and make $100 to $270 per month. I thought $270 per month was amazing. You can do Airbnbs now that make $1,000 or $2,000 a month. That's fantastic. You just need 10 of them and you're doing okay, right? Until the market changes or there's legalities to stop Airbnbs from being able to be done, or your tax bill is 30% or 29% because they're taxed as, hospitality, and that's super high tax rate. I don't do that. For me, that's not the plan. I would much rather do a single deal that makes me $5,000 to $30,000 a month, like that mobile home park deal where we made $6,000 a month into my bank account. I'd much rather do one than 10. Okay. And it's easier. It's actually so much easier to do one deal. I didn't know this. And so another thing that keeps us back is we are doing all these marketing as real estate agents, realtors. We're out there marketing, we're sharing who we are, we're teaching people, we're educating them, we're getting them into the pipeline. You work with them for a couple months and then you try and close a property, and sometimes they get emotional and they just quit, or they aren't able to buy it, or the seller changes their mind, or we're doing all these tricks of writing letters and trying to pull the emotional tag to be able to buy these properties. You're doing so much work for a transaction that's only going to make you $10,000. What if you use the same amount of work in marketing, and instead of going after one person to close one deal and make 3 grand or 6 grand or 10 grand or maybe even 20 grand, or 30 grand, maybe you're selling $1 million homes or more. Instead of chasing that one transaction, once you bring those people in, your marketing, and instead of trying to do 30 transactions or 60 or 100 transactions a year, why don't you just try and do 3 or 4 transactions a year that create $5 million in net worth that year for you, plus $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of monthly income for you? Why don't you do it that way instead? It changed my life and everything. And when I left the military, sure enough, I left the military 2 years after we got to Alaska. But instead of me leaving the military and not having a job or having to go find a job, I was taking home $15,000 a month from real estate, and I took home nothing more because I didn't want to pay taxes. All the rest of that money went into new projects and new stuff and growing the business. And I was just like, I'm going to live off of 15K a month, plus my military retirement. So 20K a month. I'm living fine off 20K a month. Way more money than I was making in the military, and way more money than I ever made flipping a bunch of homes every single year. So here's a secret. Not only do you can you change your marketing to a way that you're bringing in new investors instead of chasing deals. Not only can you create that marketing to make a difference, for building your brand, you can just change it just a little bit, but you can start charging deals for your marketing. And so not only is it no longer coming out of your pocket, it's coming out of the deal's pocket, and you're getting after exactly what you want. So not only are you making more money, you also are reducing your expense burden, and you're paying less taxes. It's pretty freaking amazing. Finally, of the 5 things that really keep us from making 10x what our broker makes, is that we're stuck thinking like what Tom Ferry teaches, like what these guys have taught forever, that we have to stay in residential. Well, newsflash, guess what Tom Ferry does? Tom Ferry buys commercial real estate. How do I know this? Because I have a friend who partners with him on commercial real estate, and Tom's has always told him, like, dude, whatever you find out there, bring it to me so I can invest in commercial real estate. But then on stage, he's like, residential real estate and agents and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, man, okay. Now, if you're familiar with Bigger Pockets, and Brandon Turner wrote all these books about the BRRRR strategy and residential real estate and everything else, he no longer is at Bigger Pockets. Why? Because he's buying mobile home parks like crazy. So I bought 10 mobile home parks. I'm about to recapitalize one right now. We're doing more projects all the time. And I also am in apartment complexes. I purchased 10 apartment complexes out over the past couple of years. We're looking at buying a $15 million apartment complex right now, or 17 million, with other people's money. I don't have 17 million. I don't even have $5 million of cash that I want to put into a single apartment complex, right? But I can use other people's money to do that. So we're using leverage in a way that the talking heads tell us not to do, but the talking heads actually do. All right. So actions speak louder than words. Their actions tell me that this is how we should. Sorry, was there a question? All right. So commercial is easier. Seriously, you're playing a small game, T-ball, when you're going out there and just trying to buy small single family homes. This is the game that I played for 13 years, was just single family flips and everything else. But now I do a big game. I have a much bigger attitude. I'm much more confident because I got into commercial real estate and everything changed. But it's all about how you get into commercial real estate and getting rid of that mental limitation that you don't have enough money to get into commercial real estate. I'm serious. I've helped people become millionaires in commercial real estate, and they had $5,000 or $10,000 when they started. All right. It's amazing what can happen when you learn how to leverage other people's money. And then instead of trying to become a broker so you can make more money one day, you're going to get completely out of the game and you're going to become an owner. You're going to be wanting to build your own firm that creates millions of dollars in net worth in just a few short years. So if that's you, if that's what you want to do, listen up. So there's a 5-step framework that I put together after doing dozens of deals and realizing that I screwed up a lot of stuff in the beginning. And if you ever have more time, I'm happy to talk about any wrong turns I took, things that cost me, 200 grand here, or $1 million here, or I missed out on an opportunity that we should have made $10 million. And these numbers are crazy because when I first got started, I was just trying to buy a home that gave me $100 a month in income. And I thought $10,000 was a ton of money, right? Crazy. Just 6 years ago, when I first started this game, and between then and now, over $70 million of assets and growing, trying to hit 100 million this year, like, my perspective has completely changed. But it comes down to this framework. First, you want to choose a path. Like, what do you want in life? What do you want? Do you want freedom and complete control of your life? Do you want to stop chasing transactions? Do you want to live wherever you want to live on the planet Earth? Do you want to create a legacy of impact and wealth and freedom for your family? If that's what you want, then choose a path that will get you there. Flipping single family homes, there are people who have done it, but they're few and far between, and it is freaking hard. It's super hard. I recommend a much easier route where you can go and create $1 million worth of net worth your first year of working it, of doing it. Where you can work with partners and people who will help you and fund your projects and teach you and get you going, because they're also doing the same thing. So first, choose your path. What do you want? Build your foundation of knowledge and expertise. Join a couple of deals with other people. Learn how to systemize and monetize and do those things. And then when you're ready, if you want to, take the lead and be the lead sponsor on projects that are yours and have partners bring money into your deal, or you bring all the money into your deal, keep all the equity. You take home the full $330,000 check, or like a deal we're doing right now, it's a $450,000 check. I've seen deals where people make $1 million check for a single deal that you have no money in, or you have very, very little of your own money in. Sounds crazy, right? This is just what happens. It's called syndication. All right. And we created the #1 international syndication coaching program. In fact, if you type in syndication coach on Google, syndication launch is typically the first one that pops up. We have folks in South America, in Mexico, and Colombia. We have folks in England, Spain. We have folks in Canada. We have folks all over the place who have joined, and then all through the states who have joined our program. And I love seeing people leave this when they're realtors or brokers. I know that they can typically leave their full-time gig and go full-time commercial real estate within 6 to 8 months if they really get after it. If they really get after it, then we just had somebody last week go full-time and he'd been in the program 6 months. That's crazy, right? So we have all these great systems, everything that we've learned. We built a syndicator's glossary. We built all these things from our own experience and having done dozens of deals. And so at the very beginning, there's this way to just do this on your own. We have all of the stuff in the system, step-by-step deal life cycles. I've seen other programs say, hey, there's 3 easy steps to buying a commercial real estate property. And I say, if people believe that, it's idiotic. My deal process has, I don't know, 30 or 40 steps, things that you need to be aware of and complete to conduct your due diligence and close on a great asset. So you don't screw up and just buy something so you can get that $450,000 check, because guess what? Now you own an apartment complex and you're responsible for it. So now what do you do? And so while those other programs will get you into the closing, I'm going to get you in through closing, operations, improvement, grow that asset, make a crap ton of money, sell the thing, and take home a $5 million check at the end of that. And oh, by the way, you took a $450,000 check when you closed, and $30,000 a month, and blah, 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 blah. This is completely different trajectory than what you had before. There's all this stuff, tons and tons of stuff. And I have people charging right now that are paying $297 a month. I'm going to offer this to you guys for $97 a month. I suck at sales, but I am passionate about teaching and helping people change their life. So if you want to use your phone and grab that, that'll take you to syndicationlaunch.com. And you can join today. The link there, join today for $97 a month, a 7-day free trial. Check it out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Quit. I'm not a gym membership. We're not going to hound you. If you don't want it, we'll just say, hey, what's up? Why? It's like, hey, it's not for me. Cool, no problem. We'll cancel it. Or you can even cancel it yourself with Stripe. You can just go in there and click the cancel button. No problem. No emails, no conversations, nothing. You just cancel, right? It's not like a gym membership where we're going to charge you for the next 30 years of your life and you're never going to be able to figure out how to get out of it. Like, cancel it. No problem. If it's not for you, no problem. You want to chase transactions? You want to be a realtor forever? Cool. No problem, right? This is just some of the things that people said about our program. It's legit, folks. We are changing lives, and that's why I started it, is because I joined all these programs and I never felt like the coaches really cared about me. And so we created a program where we really care, we align incentives, and we make a difference. But if you're thinking like, I want to do more than just do a self-paced program, I want to create my own company. I want to build wealth and freedom. I want to make a difference in the world. I want to build beautiful assets on the beach or buy beautiful assets on the beach. I want to create affordable housing and help fix this crisis. I want to do build to rent, or I want to do medical facilities like Ryan. And I want to be an owner. Like I want to be an owner. If that's what you want, right? Which is the most important thing. What do you want? Really, really want? If you want to be an owner, then we have the #1 impact investing syndication coaching club program on the planet. Where it's cool to be one of one. Unfortunately, no one else cares about impact investing. We do. So we talk about everything from how to use solar power to drop the cost to tenants and also add $5 million of value to your property. I mean, forget ESG, like you're going to make a bunch of money bringing solar onto your big apartment complex. That's fantastic, right? If you want to do that, but you want to be in a program where there's other people there who can help you, and there's people who have done half a dozen syndications, not including us, we've done dozens, but half a dozen. There's an attorney in there. There's an Apple executive in there. There's these high-powered people and regular folks who have never done anything, and they're just trying to learn. There's people of all ups and downs, at different levels of their company, but you can get in that program and you can listen to amazing questions in teaching and become part of people's deals and joins deals, legitimately join deals. We're launching a fund this week, and I've got 6 of our students who have joined the fund that will pay, they'll be owners of the fund, and it will pay them distributions for the next 20 years. All right. If that sounds interesting to you, let me tell you a little bit about Jeremiah. Jeremiah was the first student I took on. We coached him through 2 projects. One was the ground up storage. I built that storage complex in Alaska. That is in Chugiak, Alaska. I used to live right out there, and so I built the storage complex. Within 12 months of Jeremiah working with me, he had created $800,000 in net worth. We only did 2 deals, remember, just 2 deals. He went on to become a millionaire shortly thereafter, but just 800 grand off of the 2 deals that we worked on, and was taking home $10,000 a month. He was a real estate broker selling homes, transactions, and he was able to go full-time real estate just off of the 2 deals that we did together. We saw Ryan, we've already done 2 deals together, and we're buying businesses now. It's amazing. And he never thought that that was something that he could do, right? Become a millionaire, make a huge impact in your life. If that's you, if you want to do something crazy, if you want to take massive impact or create massive impact and take massive action, just click that or use your phone and scan that QR code or send me a message. And I would love to have you in the program. I would love to teach you how to do this. And not only how to do this, but what not to do, because Sam, I made a lot of dumb mistakes because all the coaches I hired, they didn't know. They knew how to buy apartments or they knew how to buy mobile home parks, but they didn't know how to operate them. And so if you want somebody to help you avoid paying the stupid tax, like I have paid the stupid tax way too many times, I'll be like, hey, this is a great idea. Don't do it, because if you do that in 2 years, it's going to cost you big time. And you're not going to know that until 2 years later, because that's when I found out that that was a bad idea. So I'll help you also not make really dumb decisions. So schedule a call with Rob. You'll go and talk to one of our students in the program, not even me. So you have to listen to my sales pitch. Again, I suck at sales. I'm just super passionate about teaching people, and I'm super passionate about affordable housing. We do affordable housing. But you're only one decision away. And if you like what Rob has to say about being a member of the program, he actually lives in Mexico. and is doing really awesome stuff. We're helping him with his commercial real estate transactions that he's doing. Then join the program. And I think you're going to be astonished at how inexpensive it is. Really is too inexpensive. You can contact me at info@syndicationlaunch.com or sam@syndicationlaunch.com. You can find me right there, LinkedIn, Samuel Sells. And yeah, like if you really, really want to change your life, like everybody else is that's in the system, in the program, if you want to talk to me 3 times a week, we have 3 calls a week. And listen to everybody else. You're like, Sam, you got the worst haircut ever. I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm getting a haircut today. Yeah. If you want a fun, exciting atmosphere with great people that we can laugh at each other, make fun of each other, and then go to work and make a ton of money together, join Syndication Launch. It's ridiculous. It just really, really is. So I'll stop there. I talked a lot, shared a lot of things. All of this stuff is real, but please, if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Marcelo, did you have a question? Yes, great question. I will send you this. No worries about being late. Life happens, right? What's amazing about commercial real estate is you have absolute control of your life. So you can start work whenever, you can take care of emergencies whenever. It's one of the great things about being a realtor, except when you're a realtor, you have people calling you at 9 o'clock at night on a Friday, wanting to see a property first thing in the morning on Saturday, and you have no idea if they're going to transact. Like, I don't have that. I sometimes get texts at 9 o'clock at night from my students who are facing an issue, and I'm happy to help them. But yeah, we'll send out the recording and share that with you. Okay. All right. Gustavo, any questions?
No, no questions. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Connie, any questions?
Well, I do have a question. So I've just retired. I was in software engineering for about 38 years. I did real estate and with that, but I was stuck in the small mindset. So I just wonder though, being in the early part of my retirement, if it's wise for me to invest.
Yes. Connie, my dad was 65 when we started. All right. He a year later, he paid off his house. And like 800 grand or something like that, just paid off his house. So it's maybe a year and a half later. So I have people in my program who are older. I'm 44, about to turn 45. My dad still works with us. He enjoys it. So absolutely. There's no age. Age doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. You can be as ugly as I am and still be super successful in this game. It's just really about like, what are you going to do? What do you want to do to create a legacy? Like, what do you want? Did that answer your question?
Yes, it helped. Thank you.
If you'd like to talk more about that, I'm happy to do so. The program's really, really inexpensive. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. There's no crazy pressure tactics or anything else like that.
Sam, could I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it just $97 a month, period?
$97 a month is for the is for the self-paced program. So we have like 30 courses or 40 courses in there. We usually try to drop 5 to 7 new courses every month.
Mhm.
But it just is super educational about commercial real estate and about syndication, how to do it, how to structure things, how to make money, how to use other people's money. And you cannot grow using your own money if you're like me. I grew up, I didn't have money. My parents didn't have money. I couldn't go get a small $1 million loan from my daddy. If you don't have access to those things, there is no more powerful tool to create massive wealth than syndication. Syndications have been around for over 100 years. It wasn't until 2012 that the SEC was forced by the Jobs Act to make syndications essentially available for the regular folks like us.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm from the same background, so I understand that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one more question? Can I get a copy of this? I was late getting in here to listen to some of it. Is there any way I could get a videotape of it so I can listen to it again?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. I'll send it out to you. Um, and please, so you can check out that program. It is free for 7 days. The way that we do our syndication live coaching is there's a small down payment, and then we do profit share on all the rest of it just until the profit share gets taken care of. And that what that is like 50-50 of the acquisition fee that you gain from doing a project until we get our full coverage for the program. And what that does is that makes sure that I'm incentivized to help you be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really make money until you make money.
Okay. And can I ask you one more personal question? Where
Yeah.
are you? Where do you live? What state?
So I live in the great state of Texas. My brother, who's my business partner, lives in Florida.
Okay.
My asset manager lives in Missouri. My attorney lives in Utah. My it doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah, I know. I was just asking. I just wanted to see. By the way, you're not ugly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or thoughts? Deborah, Connie, I'd love to continue our conversation on a call if you'd like to do that. Gustavo, I'd love to talk to you about what homes you're doing, how you're doing fix and flips, and what that looks like. And then same, Marcelo. All right. If there's no other questions, thank you all for joining. It's always fun to talk to new people, and you're only one decision away from changing your life. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks all.